What's up, everyone? Pettiparty. Today we're going to be going over the fact that a lot of people don't actually know how the market really works. And I'm going to say that with little asterisks on the end because I know a bunch of you are going to be like, oh, well, I know how the market works. I go on eBay or I go on TCG Player and I look at what the price of the stuff up for sale is, what the price of the stuff that sold was. That's how the market works. It goes for what people want to pay. Yeah, whatever. That's not what we're getting down into today. So, what I want to talk about specifically is using, say, DDS Blue Eyes as an example. So, there was an auction last week where DDS Blue Eyes went for about 25,000 USD. And because of how high the bids were going on that auction, someone else decided that they were going to buy a copy of a PSA 10 DDS Blue Eyes that was on eBay for $20,000. And because of that, everyone and their dog started posting their DDS Blue Eyes up for sale. Now, as of the filming of this video, that $25,000 DDS Blue Eyes, still hasn't been actually paid for yet. So until it's actually paid for, sale doesn't count. Not saying it won't be paid for. Very well could be paid for. A lot of people like to wait until the last minute to actually pay for their stuff. That's here nor there. But the thing is, because of those sales, and whether you want to argue the Blue Eyes on auction was legitimate or not, another one sold for 20. So, that, as far as I know, that's a legitimate sale. It didn't get reposted. Not sure who was selling it, but we'll just take that at face value, saying that one sold for 20,000. So, okay, that's fine. So, you got to look at all these people who had copies of that card sitting on their shelf or sitting in a safety deposit box, and who went, oh shit, that card's worth 10 times what I paid for it or 5 times what I paid for it. I'm going to cash in and have some free chicken tendies. And as a result, within a week, I've seen 6, 7, 8, I don't know, might even be 10 copies of that card in PSA 10 that have popped up for sale on Instagram or eBay or wherever else. And all people have been using that new, benchmark, quote unquote, $20,000 price tag as what they're looking. And yeah, with a card like DDS Blue Eyes, it's got a lot of stuff going for it. So you've got, the original anime art, that prismatic, rare, holofoiling and name. The card looks beautiful. It's my favorite looking Blue Eyes. I don't have one, so I don't have any skin in the game on this particular instance. But you got to think about it for a second and say, okay, well, if all of a sudden there's a half a dozen or a dozen of these cards popping up for sale now, all the weak hands, paper hands are trying to cash in on their tendies, then is that really the market price if they're not immediately all being bought up? So that's all I'm saying when it comes to that. Now, you've got other cards where, say, a record-setting price, and we'll use Cyberstein as an example, from back in the summer. When Cyberstein hit, that $10,000 price on Sassy's auction, that automatically flushed, a few dozen copies out of the woodwork because people were like, oh shit, that card's 10 grand. Now I got that card. I'm going to cash it in and, buy a Volkswagen or, a couple of Tesla stock or something. And the price not only held on Cyberstein, but it actually went up. So I'm not saying that's not what's going to happen with DDS Blue Eyes. I'm just saying that you should probably stop and wait a second and make sure, okay, if I'm trying to buy this card, is that actually the price, or is it just 2 or 3 people who really wanted the damn thing, who couldn't find any copies, who were paying out the ass for it? Or are all these people who are now seeing the dollar signs flashing before their eyes, are they actually going to be slitting each other's throats to try and sell their copies now? Because all it's going to take is for someone to crack and go, oh shit, I can't sell 20. Well, I'll try 19. I'll try it at 18. Oh shit, someone has it up for 18,000. I'll put mine up for 17.5. Shit, I gotta go cheaper than that. I'll do 17. And all of a sudden, you're gonna see a race to the bottom, and everyone trying to catch a falling sword. That is not a very good position to be in, unfortunately. Especially when you look at cards that, we'll say, a month ago, like DDS Blue Eyes. You could have bought a DDS Blue Eyes a month ago for $14,000, $15,000. And all it took was one record-breaking sale and one possibly record-breaking sale that hasn't been paid for yet to all of a sudden everyone saying, oh, DDS Blue Eyes worth 20, 25 grand. I'm going to be a nice guy here. I'll take off your $50 shipping fee. I'll sell you one for $19,950 and shit like that going on. So you really need to be cognizant of how the market works in situations like these. That card a year ago was $3,000, $4,000 all day long. I could have bought that card at $3,000 or $4,000. I didn't want to. I had other shit I actually wanted to buy more for my collections. So I have, some regret that I didn't buy when it's cheaper, but I also got other shit that I wanted. And that's the unfortunate other side of this hobby that a lot of people don't realize. And I'll get into another video later on with price memory. But just because stuff was cheaper, 2, 3, 4 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, doesn't mean it's going to stay that price forever. And you're going to have to come to terms with where the market is. All I'm saying is, you might want to hold on for a few days at least, make sure that the auction one gets paid for. Maybe wait and see if another one of these few that have popped up for sale actually sells at that price. I tend to look for 3 or 4 copies being sold to try and set, the benchmark of a price, unless you're talking about something that's actually, extraordinary, rare, coveted. And I'm not saying that Blue Eyes from DDS isn't rare and it isn't coveted, because it is. Like I said, arguably the best looking original Blue Eyes White Dragon. There's not a whole lot of them kicking around. Yeah, it's a high pop around 100. They're easy to grade, but it was also not found in every version of that video game. It's very coveted. A lot of people who bought the video game back in the day bought it because they wanted that card. The card got beat to shit, dog chewed on it, thrown in a blender, whatever. So, yeah, it has all the earmarks of a card that should go up in value. I'm just saying, hold on for a couple more sales before you go trying and, taking a second mortgage out on your house for the sake of getting DDS Blue Eyes. So that's all I've got for today right now. Also, if you're one of the people trying to sell a Dark Magician for 2 or 3 times what the last one on auction went for, and claiming that that's the new market price, good luck to you on that. Hope that works out for you. I've seen a lot of people posting, DDS Blue Eyes, DDS Dark Magician combos. I only want, 35 grand, or, I'll throw in the Exodia for 40, like they're doing you a favor. So be mindful of that as well. A lot of people might try to snake the price up on you in the back door when it comes to things like that. That's pretty much all I've got for today. If you've got anything to add or any questions, shoot down in the comments below. Hope you learned something today. Have a good one.